Check out my brand new sample and preset pack, Nitric Performance Enhancing Drums, by using the links below. So you want to come up with a song that can get 300 million streams, just like David Guetta. I mean, it does seem easy enough. You take an old song, you steal the melody, as we've been doing for 2 years now in Slap House, and then you just add some safe sounds throughout the entire song. Nothing too aggressive, pop friendly. It sounds easy enough. And I wanted to put that to the test in this video to see what I can come up with. So I was scouring Spotify, as I do, and then I was sat there thinking, what songs have a catchy riff? Not so much like a complicated melody, but a catchy riff. And then that's when I stumbled upon Axel F by Crazy Frog. The most random song ever, but I think it'll work for the video. So just like David Guetta did, I started this one off with a piano because that is the easiest way to tell if a melody is strong enough to hold throughout an entire song, especially like this one. The chords I wrote for this one have that video game type of sound to it. So these 3 chords are normal chords, the 4, 5 to 6. However, the second time around, I made that 6th chord a major. So instead of going major, major, minor, we're going major, 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 which gives it that video game sound. And something small to get the vibe going, I added a little drone sample, added some effects to it, and pitched it a little bit. And then since this is a YouTube video, guys, we don't have to worry about anything else in the song. We can go from the build up straight to the drop. So to get things going, I threw in a percussion loop. And I like to use loops that aren't necessarily meant for the BPM that you're working with. For example, here I used a loop that was in 77 BPM, sped it up all the way to 128. And in my opinion, I just think that's the easiest way to bring different styles from different genres into what you're making. A quick snare loop to get some energy going. And then a few effects for arrangement's sake, just so we have a clear direction of where we're going. And now it's time for the drop. Simple, nice, and easy drums. Just like I said before, we're doing safe choices here, nothing too crazy. So we'll need something bright and something powerful for those lead layers. And then finally, a Kygo tropical type of synth layer. And then I also have a shaper box panning this left and right. You really can't even hear it in the song, but if you're wearing headphones, it does sound kind of wacky while you listen to it. But what I actually did here was I took the same exact synth stack from the last video, saved that as a layer, and then I put it back into this project. Hey, it works. For the bass, I went with the Reboot preset in Nitric. There's some white noise layered in there with a bit of FM to sample in the first oscillator, which gives it a little bit of that grittiness. And the notes for this are sustained notes, so they aren't going along with that lead rhythm, and they're just playing the root notes of the chords that we created earlier. And to make it slide a little bit, I added some pitch bend automation on that last note. Also, I forgot to mention that these are all being routed to their own buses with sidechain to duck them away from the kick. And then for the main drop chord element, to keep things very simple, I use this piano from Addictive Keys playing 8th notes with the progression that I used before. And to chop this up, I just did Alt-U in FL Studio, chopped it up to 8th notes, nice and simple. And then just a little synth layer on top of that. And now it's time for a few last minute details. So something I noticed Calvin Harris and David Guetta do, they like to put tambourines on their kick, and this gives it this organic type of sound, but it also makes that kick a lot brighter. And then I ended up adding one more bass layer. This one went a little bit more with the lead rhythm, and inside of the MIDI, I'm sliding the notes a little bit as well, just to make it move a little bit. And this one isn't too upfront in the mix, but I just wanted to give the bass a little bit more movement. For the build-up, I wanted to add a mysterious type of pluck. This one is the waiting pluck from Nitric. And this is teasing that drop melody before the actual drop comes. And I'm sure you already know how to do that. But usually I like to not use the actual synth that I use in the drop. I usually like to use a sound that's less intense than the drop sound. A drop bedding on top of the drop to make it a lot brighter. And then an offbeat snare. And this will help with the rhythm of the lead just a little bit. This weird scary movie effect on the drop impact. And then for some more tone, another drop bedding in the second half. White noise exhaust on the one. Some occasional tape stops with a D-Blue tape stop. A little vocal shot. And then sprinkle in a nice bright ARP loop. And then a second hi-hat layer. And then we have a little pre-drop fill. 300 million streams later, and here we will be. Also guys, I forgot to mention that if you would like to download the vital presets and samples from the project, it's available below for free. This is a kit inside of Nitric that I just created right now, so if you guys want to check it out, go ahead.